welcome back to the channel. Today we're going to talk about the Puma All Pro Nitro. This is a Scoot Henderson PE, just released recently on Puma website, and let's get into it. So right here we've got the box, nice design, a little bit of this kind of checker pattern. Not sure if it's like kind of smoke in the background, I'm not sure what that is, but we've got ODD, overly determined to dominate. So I'm guessing this is going to be Scoot's kind of catch line. And the box itself, pretty nice design, pretty basic, nothing crazy. Put this to the side and straight into the shoe. Now this shoe is related in some way, shape or form to the Puma Clyde All Pro. Now, the Puma Clyde All Pro was shoe of the year a couple of years back. I have quite a lot of them. Very, very good performer, and I'll always compare this to that. The reason being, if it's going to have the name All Pro, it has to hit this standard for me because this shoe is fantastic. So to start off with, traction, very nice bite. So far we've got this kind of similar pattern on the forefoot where it's this kind of parquet checkered pattern similar to TD Garden, and then we've got a silhouette of the Puma logo on the forefoot. This aperture here for the midfoot shank plate, which is nice and sturdy, and then the back foot has got this kind of like diamond pattern, which works very, very nice overall. Don't have any issues whatsoever with the traction. And on the outside here, we've got a very, very subtle outrigger, similar to the Clyde All Pro, and that alone works very well. In regards to the cushioning setup, this is where it differs. So Puma recently, the shoes they've been bringing out, they've been trying to push very hard with the Nitro injected foam. This one here is called the Advanced Nitro foam, and you can clearly see the difference. When to look at, it's actually, it kind of reminds me of, you know, the little polystyrene flakes you get to pack your boxes if you're sending a package. That's what it reminds me of. It is extremely, extremely soft to touch, and the compression underfoot feels very, very nice. So I'm quite pleased with that overall. What I will say is though, that the forefoot aspect, you get more court feel on the All Pro. It seems more slimmer, but for some reason, this feels a little bit thicker. So maybe, I don't know if there's any correlation in terms of the design of what they're trying to achieve. My guess is when they're saying All Pro, it's pretty much the most advanced tooling setup they can do for the materials. So before the Clyde All Pro came out, we had the Pro Foam set up on the Clyde hardwood, and then when the Clyde All Pro came out, they had the Pro Foam Plus. So for me, this Advanced Nitro foam is a step up from the regular Nitro foam. Lamello balls, we've also got the Infusion Nitro Spectra. So for me, this is definitely better. It feels more responsive, a lot more softer when you're landing, and overall, very pleased with it. Now, like I say, it is relatively chunky in terms of the forefoot aspect. When you feel it on foot, don't get as much court feel as this. However, the impact protection is there, and that's a bonus. Now, in regards to the moving up to the actual materials themselves, very nice. It's nice and soft, very similar to this Matrix Evo Tech that was in this, but it's not the exact same. It's just in terms of the lightness. Now, this is where these two shoes draw very, very similar. Now, in terms of weight, they are, yeah, there's not much in it at all. I think this could be ever so slightly heavier because this feels very heavy at the back. But the materials themselves, it's like a kind of, not a knit as such, but it's definitely synthetic, and they've got fuse overlays to help reinforcement of the lace loops for when you're trying to get that lockdown required. Now, overall, this colourway doesn't do it justice. However, there is another colourway coming out of the shoe that I'm holding out for. It is this one right here, and it reminds me of this colourway of the Clyde All Pro. So in regards to the setup itself, then yeah, I really like it in terms of the materials. It sticks with this All Pro theme, this kind of approach of being, this is the best we can do in terms of the materials we can offer, the tooling setup. So I'm quite impressed with it. The lockdown aspect, if you look at it here, the laces come that little bit far forward, and also you've got the lace loops in the front. We actually see this on the Clyde hardwood as well, how the design aspect, the laces come down about the same distance, and then in terms of the tongue actually starts round about here, and it's the same in there as well. So that's a nice transfer of the design language moving across, and I think that's quite an important thing as well, that they're having this theme of continuity and one thing's evolving into the other. So I quite like that from Puma. Onto the back, we've got this kind of TPU in there. It's very well padded. You can't really feel it as such, but it is nice and sturdy to give you the support you need. Nice checkered flag there, checker pattern rather, sorry, and we've got the ODD on the back, and again we've got the Puma logo. The materials inside have got this checkered pattern that seems to be throughout. We've got 00 on the top of the tongue. I'm not entirely sure what the 7 relates to on the inside of the tongue, but the tongue is nice, very basic, nothing fancy. And then we've got some sort of number on the inside loop of the tongue. I'm guessing this has got something to do with Scoot in some way, shape or form. And again, we've got the All Pro brand in here and Nitro on the inside. So I think overall the shoe, the way it looks, is quite nice. It still has that same kind of All Pro silhouette going on. But in regards to the colour scheme on this one, I'm not a fan. Being ginger, shall we say, having a red shoe doesn't really go. I've looked for something a wee bit more subtle, so I'll definitely be holding out for a different colourway. Performance wise, I haven't played on the court with it. However, from what I can tell, the bite that's getting off the laminate, very nice traction, responsiveness is there. And in regards to the feel sizing, I went true to size. However, there is a bit of space at the front. Now, when I bought all my Clyde All Pros, I've went half a size down because I felt there was a wee bit too much room. I went half a size up, which is my true to size on this one. It kind of feels the same, so I could probably drop down half a size. So that's maybe something to consider. The thing I don't like about this shoe is it feels, in regards to the midsole, it doesn't feel as if you get a lot of court feel in the front. Maybe it's just me, but I don't feel like I'm getting the same experience as what I did with the Clyde All Pro. The second thing is it feels wide, and this one doesn't. And I'm not entirely sure if it's just me, and maybe because I have went half a size up, there isn't that 1-to-1 fit. So don't quote me on this. However, I do feel like this has a ever so slight approach, slightly design approach to it. I can't quite put my finger on it. It does feel good on foot, and I believe it will be a good performer. However, I don't rate it as highly as the Clyde All Pro. I think Puma have done a great job in terms of how it looks, how it feels. However, the overall feel, if I was going to grade it, I would definitely grade the All Pro higher than I would grade this. I think Scoot Henderson himself, I'm extremely excited to see what he's going to do in Summer League if he's taking part. I'm extremely excited to see what he's going to do in the NBA. I think the Blazers have got themselves a wrecking ball as a point guard, never mind having Damian Lillard there as well. So it's going to be very interesting how that 1-2 punch is going to go if Damian Lillard does decide to stay with the Blazers. I think Scoot Henderson is going to be I think he's going to be a force of nature, to be perfectly honest. You know, he's just going to take the league by storm. Very aggressive. He's got elements of Russell Westbrook, but he's built like a linebacker. You know, he's just massive. So I'm just really looking forward to the season getting started. If you're going to buy this shoe, I would definitely maybe have a wee play around with sizes. Is one of the things with the breathability aspect. There is very, very thin materials. So going back to what I've said before, when you're buying shoes, if you're buying a shoe with leather overlays, that usually knocks half a size off. This is very thin, so therefore it might actually be worthwhile going down half a size. So it might be within your interest to get 2 sizes. Overall, again, good shoe, feels very nice on foot. I think it's got a lot of potential. I think it would be a good performer on the court. I'm very interested to see what the other colourways are going to be looking like, because the first one I've seen so far is definitely I've got my eye on, and I think I'll be copying that. Just be aware of pricing on these. These were 120 on Puma.com. However, I did see them somewhere else. I can't remember where it was. They were 125, 130. Some websites charge me a bit more. Don't know why that is. But definitely keep an eye out and see if you can get yourself a deal. Subscribe to the Puma newsletter. You'll get 15% off. So it's definitely worthwhile having a look at that as well. Might even be 20. So yeah, that's a Puma All Pro Nitro. Not as good as the Puma Clyde All Pro in my opinion, however still a fantastic shoe. I think it's one of the better ones that Puma have released. A lot of the ones that I've released recently, I wouldn't even bother throwing my money at them. And yeah, until the next one, I'll give you a shout, but I'm going to be doing the Puma MB2 Low after this video. So keep an eye out, hit the subscribe button, hit the like button if you liked the video, and I'll see you in the next one.